Warrior, let's go. I just got back from the West Coast and work, and I did a lot of thinking on the plane, and there are so many subjects that popped up in the last 72 hours. I want to share a couple of what I call Warriors PSAs, public service announcements, things you don't really hear in the media, online, all around us, but you need to be aware of. And the first thing is Snapchat. Look, every big tech platform, there are problems with them regarding kids and teens. You know this by now, right? Our work at the Warriors, we try to bring you as much information as we can bring you. But I want to share what came out just the other day from Snap. It's called Snap Map. Now, actually, Snap is so problematic. If you were a follower, and you are if you're listening to this, of the Warriors, I've always told you, and this is all proven, we have lots of studies, that kids can buy drugs on Snap. 2 clicks and have them delivered to their front door. Now, call me wacky, but I think there's something wrong with that. We do know there is censorship. Let's agree to that. Because you or I could post something about, I don't know, ivermectin. I'm going to leave it at that. And maybe not today, but we would be shut down, or we would be, this goes against community standards. So we know certain things get by. I never understood, and it is something I have stood in front of many a group, many a roundtable, many a conference, many a summit, which, by the way, I'm getting a little tired of, but we'll get to that in the next video. In Albany, our state capital, I'm here in New York, and also in Washington, D.C. And I'll be like, why? Just why? Why is this allowed? Why? Snap is not the only platform. Every single platform is problematic with our kids. There's a lot of good going on, and we live in a digital world. We're not changing that. At the same time, the predators are always 10, I'm going to say 20 steps ahead of law, of us, of government. So let's talk about the Snap Map, which is making a few ruffles, and I don't blame them. This came out the other day, and it is so problematic because it sounds very kind of, innocuous. Might go right over your head, in one ear, out the other. But the Snap Map is a feature within Snapchat that allows users to share their location with friends and view the locations of others, as well as public snaps submitted to the platform. Now, do you understand what's problematic about everybody knowing where everybody is in that moment? We teach you about safety. We always say the same things. Turn off location services. Your phone, your overall iPhone, has in your settings to do not allow. So, parents, caregivers, grandparents, whoever's buying the devices, or if it's your child who purchases a device and you know about it, a teen perhaps, talk to them about turning off location services. I know the kids are thinking this is all cool and we can track each other, we can spy on each other, girls with boys, boys with girls, which leads into that whole crazy, obsessive kind of a dating thing. Again, another program. But what is wrong with this? What is wrong with this is there has been no accountability by big tech to do anything to safeguard our kids. I'm sure we can all maintain our privacy, I put in quotes, and have some guardrails for kids. The other thing I'm asking constantly is, where's the transparency? Why can't they have increased safety councils regarding kids, right? Who are those people? How many are there? What are they doing? We don't know. Washington doesn't know. Yet I saw the other day when I was away that Tim Cook stood, I believe, in the White House giving, I don't know, $600 billion, I think that's what it was, to the administration, to Apple, to create product in the United States. And that sounds great, right? Because you hear the same thing. USA made, creates jobs, chips will be done here. You hear that whole lingo. But what you don't hear is, if that kind of money is given, and Tim Cook, that we rally against all the time, with our great allies, colleagues, our partners, the HEAT Initiative, right? To have safety measures, right? Again, there's no transparency. We don't know on Apple who's watching what, how many people there are, who's shutting down the predators. Actually, nobody's doing a very good job of that, right? But 600, I think it was 600 billion. Maybe it was 600 million, excuse me. Long flight, everybody. And I did my thinking over 5 hours. A lot of thinking going through my head and jotting down notes. Yes, it was 600 million going up to a billion to the administration. At the same time that is announced, I understand the need. The administration has a need, has a want, has a fixation on global domination with AI, with tech. That being said, why can't part of the package be, in addition, there is something carved out for the safety of our children? And that's what I go to Washington and say. And I am met with blank looks, blank stares. You're right. We'll be working on it. We are working on it. We have work to do. We'll get to it. Blah, 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 blah. We have solutions. We have good people that know how to do things in tech. We know how to plug in holes, give people the resources and the allowance to go and do this. Okay? So as Tim Cook, because it really frankly made me a little ill, seeing him in the White House being applauded. Remember, money talks, crime walks. Warrior saying. And nothing was announced about kids. When we have here in New York, in Washington, D.C., stood alongside our allies, the HEAT Initiative, with parents shoulder to shoulder, parents holding signs of their children, wearing T-shirts, buttons. Their children have been harmed, the ultimate harm. And we have algorithms here, so I'll say the ultimate harm. Because they saw a TikTok challenge. They were encouraged on an iPhone to do something. It's a very slippery slope. I agree with all that. There are no clear lines here, divisions. There are no real legislation protecting as we go into this AI. None of us really know about, except in the back of our minds, we know it can be horrific, right? Already proving behind the scenes to be horrific in certain circumstances with kids. Deep fakes, bots, that program character AI, telling kids to harm themselves or harm their loved ones or all kinds of crazy things. But I ask you, so now we have the SNAP. Let me go back to where I started, the SNAP map. The best explanation I saw is, location sharing. So while that may seem cool or great, because I actually heard this yesterday. Oh, we need location sharing because, we worry about our kids and want to see where they are at all times. Okay. This is a whole different program. Anybody can do this. I'm trying to break it down to make it very, very simple. What you have to do is not share your locations on Snap. Make sure you go to your settings on your iPhone. That's number one. And if you don't want to do that, you go to your location set. You go to your locations on Instagram and do that. And the best way, because I know it sounds very confusing, but for privacy and safety, we got to figure out how to do all these things. But all Snapchat support says is the location sharing is off by default. But that means, the kids are savvy. And they know how to buy burner phones, the older kids. We've had kids as young as 8 and 9 buying burner phones. We have had many cases of children who have harmed themselves. The parents knew after the fact. They had multiple devices. Not just the phone the parent bought for them. They had other phones the parents knew nothing about. Many kids, as adults, but we're talking about kids right now, have these alter egos, these great lifestyles, online. Yet they're really sitting behind the computer, sad, lonely, creating this fictitious lifestyle. You know it and I know it. So think about the kids with all of this. The kids looking at these other kids driving a sports car, or these kids vacationing, or these kids with a Louis Vuitton pocketbook, thinking, why don't I have that? How did they get that? Is it because they're prettier or more handsome? Or how is she a cheerleader and I'm not? It's fake. It's phony. And you have to tell your kids that online. But let's get back to Snap. Snap Map. We don't need anything else to get our kids in any kind of situations with predators. And this is exactly what Snap Map is. That is the bottom line. The best way, the greatest tutorial, and I always recommend our great friend, our ally, our colleague, Chris McKenna from Protect Young Eyes, protectyoungeyes.com is the website. I'll have it in the body of the video. He did a tutorial. I saw it on Instagram earlier today. Every step by step of Snap Map and how you turn it off. I know it sounds confusing, but it's really not. Because if you set your iPhone automatically in settings to turn locations off, then you're a step ahead of everything. But parents are giving kids phones and not even doing that, right? And all of the legal jargon that kind of comes with these contracts with these phones, nobody reads them. Nobody, the Apple iPhone alone comes with, I believe, Heat Initiative said 91 pages or something like that when you're signing into the Apple App Store, right? And if you're busy and you're tired and you've been working all day and your 12-year-old says, I saw this game, I want to get the app, Mom, I want to get the app, and blah, 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 blah. You're going to say, oh, okay, little Johnny, let me, and it'll say like 12 plus. And so you'll think, oh, okay, they must know what they're doing, Apple. They're in the business of this. When really, this should be an 18 plus, because many of these apps, we have found out, have sexual content, things that they are not. They are not rated correctly, right? So Apple's doing part of the thorn in our side here at the Warriors and Heat Initiative is, they're rating things. They're doing a disservice to advertisers, right, who look at that for, their product, and also doing a disservice to children and to families. So I want you to go to protectyoungeyes.com. I'll put it in the body of the video. Look at Chris McKenna, how he lays out step by step what you're to do about Snap Map. If you could take this one step, this is a warrior's move. This is Sunday. Let us kick off the week. I'm going to give you some PSAs all week long. I'm off to Washington very early in the morning. I'll tell you about that later. But we've got to keep the kids safe. We've got to do whatever it takes. And if it's a step like this, turning off location settings, then we've done something. And that is a warrior's move. Community creates change. We are going to chip away at this. We are going to create a difference in one child's life each day, one family, their lives. We're going to help you. That's the way we have to think about all this, because it is so overwhelming and dark. I don't know what to do except to tell you we're going to chip away, we're going to give you the information, and we're going to help you. So let's start with Snap today, Snapchat. Let's talk to our kids, honest and openly. They should not be on there with strangers. I don't care what they tell you. When I go in classrooms and I say, 6th, 7th, 8th grade, okay, how many of you get DMs? They'll all raise their hand. And I'll raise my hand because I get them too. From strangers. They all raise their hand. How many of you answer those DMs? No, I wouldn't do that. We know better. Oh, no, Miss Lynn. No. But we know from our studies that kids are answering them. We know the kids are being fooled. They're thinking it's a peer that's complimenting them or says they have a job for them or something. So we know they're lying. And that's okay, to put them on the spot like that. But at least if I talk about it, it will plant a little seed. And if one student in that classroom, those different classrooms, comes away with, I didn't know that, or I shouldn't be answering this, or we've done our jobs. And I want you to think like that, because somebody said to me the other night, why do you even bother? And I hear that a lot. If not me, then who? Join us at the Warriors. Community creates change. And when you wake up each and every day, go out and be a warrior.